What's up, everyone? DraftKings NFL Week 13 is here. It's a monster week. There's a Thanksgiving slate, but today we're doing a first look at the Sunday main slate, right? Let's get a look at the main slate here. I know there's some distractions. There's a lot of football in between now and Sunday. There's a lot of news that's going to come out between now and Sunday, but we got to get ready, got to get prepared, get our minds focused on another main slate. Why do we love main slates, guys? Well, because we crushed them. This was a spectacular week at DFS Army. I picked up my favorite screenshot. Congrats to Rob, a brand new DFS Army subscriber from last week. Literally jumping in here, $18 in the account, no money in the account, right? Just checking it out, $18 in the account. Just did the pocket maxes, which is something I've been recommending all season long to attack these pocket maxes. And $18, bam, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pocket max entries. Says his first week using DFS Army, took down 6 pocket minis. Guys, this was just my favorite screenshot of the past weekend, but obviously it was a smash. If you watch my content, we faded exactly the right people to fade. We laughed at the field that made Drake May chalk. We laughed at the field that made Chase Brown the chalk running back play in tournaments. Come on, against the toughest defense in the league. We avoided the Lamar Jackson, and we loaded up on pretty much everybody who smashed. Brissett and his guys. Got to keep it going. Guys, if you want to check out DFS Army before we get into this breakdown video, it is Black Friday. We got the Black Friday sale going on. It's right here on the screen. 25% off VIP with props, or even NFL only. These will lock in with the 25% off. With code BF2025, you get signed up. My suggestion this time of year is do a VIP. We're doing all sports, NASCAR. It covers everything. And if you're into the props part as well, you do the VIP plus props, 25%. And that's the key. It locks in forever. It will never go up as long as you remain subscribed. So Black Friday special. Let's fucking go. Now let's get into the DraftKings NFL Sunday main slate. Let's take a look at these game tiles and see if any games pop. Right. First look is nothing's popping, right? All of these totals are pretty low. So this is kind of a gross one, which is understandable when you see what games are on the Thursday slate. All the sexy teams are bundled up on the Thanksgiving slate, but we're going to make a lot of sense of this here, guys. And first off, we've got the Cardinals at the Bucks. Mystery, right? Last week, Teddy KGB Bridgewater comes in for the injured Baker Mayfield. Will Mayfield be back? It didn't look like he would, but right now it's early in the week. I don't know. This is the first look. So we're going to treat this game as if it's Teddy Bridgewater. Not that great of a situation, but we do get the Cardinals in another decent to good spot. Offensively, we get the brisket one more time. Go right back to it. Hell yeah. Michael Wilson, gets the massive price hike this week, but probably deserved after what he's done. And we had him core the last couple weeks, and that worked out amazingly well for us here on the channel as well. So congrats to everybody who followed along with that, right? But overall, I don't really know what to make of the Titans side of this game. Bucky Irving, is he going to be back? And on the Cardinal side, is Trey Benson going to be back this week? There's a lot of mysteries. We'll find out as the week rolls on, but all interesting plays if they are back. All right, next we've got the Jaguars at the Titans. Cam Ward finally had a good fantasy day. Can he do it again? Unlikely, but maybe. I don't know. Unlikely. But I guess if we ever had to kind of, play a team, maybe this is a spot to go to some Jaguars offensive pieces against the Titans. I think yes. I think that is something we want to target. We'll have to figure out which pieces on the Jaguars are good to target here, but I think it is something we should take a look at. Absolutely. Here we've got the Texans at the Colts, 44.5 point total. Texans are just a good defense. It's not been good to attack them with opposing offensive players. Road, home has not made much of a matter. So I'm going to proceed with caution on that one. Saints at the Dolphins. Okay. I'm interested in the Dolphins pieces here. Yeah, 23.75 point total is not like blow my mind amazing, but it's good enough. Against the Saints, Devon Achane, going to be an important part of our build this week. And maybe some Waddle as well. Probably not going to have super interest in the, there might be some interest in the Saints. Actually, if Kamara is out, we get a bargain basement Devin Neal. That's going to be interesting as well. Let's take a look. Actually, I want to actually look up Devin Neal here and see what we can see. 5K. Just aight for me, guys. We'll get into this later, but 7 rushing attempts, 7 target. I mean, okay. All right. It's not as I would have liked a better bargain. I have a feeling that FanDuel will have a better bargain value on Devin Neal, or maybe not. We'll see. I haven't seen yet. Where were we? Yeah. Moving on, 49ers at the Browns. This is not a good place for fantasy production at all. I think the Brown side could be smidge mild, just a little bit, teeny, tiny bit interesting. But I'm going to avoid most of the San Francisco players. This is probably not the spot for CM Sizzles either. McCaffrey's great. But again, he even showed us last night on Monday Night Football having a great game that for him to pay off, he has to have a smash game. Even against the Browns, even in this spot, even catching 8 or 9 balls, even running for 100 yards. If he's not putting up 2 touchdowns, he's probably not going to pay up the 9+ K salary. So this will be maybe an avoid this week. Flip side, this Jets game, 39-point total, has a lot of appeal, a lot more appeal than you think. I think the total is too low. I think the Jets are not that bad with Tyrod Taylor. I think the Jets defense is not that good. This game is interesting. I think the Jets will win it. Oh, you're a Jets fan, Kevin. Of course you think that. No, I never think that. I never, ever think the Jets are going to win again. I think they're going to win this game. I think it's poorly lined, and I like the Jets offense. Breece Hall, John Mechie, whatever. Other names, maybe Tyrod. Now you might be like, Kevin, that's gross. I want to delete this video, delete my YouTube account, or unfollow you. You suck. I'm telling you, don't unfollow me just yet. I've got a feeling, and it won't be satisfied unless we get a little more cowbell, aka this Jets game action. I'm telling you, this one's popping for me. 39-point total. You might be like, that's gross. They're all gross. Well, like, where are we getting better? This 41-pointer? They're all gross on paper. So we're going to have to find spots here. We're going to have to be discerning. So I think the Jets offense playable so far. Let's keep going. Rams at the Panthers. Rams play good defense. They smash. I don't really know who to play in this game, but I'm sure the Rams are, their offense. Kyron Williams, I don't usually use him. Puka? Devontae? I don't know. But this game's interesting, but probably not competitive. The Vikings at the Seahawks. I'm mostly interested in Seahawks defense here because the Vikings, with Zach Milson's evil younger twin brother, J.J. McCarthy, at the helm, they're not good. So I want to play some Seahawks defense. Normally in a game like this, I'd also look to play like Seahawks running back, but who the heck is that, right? Charbonnet. I need one of them to be out of the way to allow the other one to shine. But if one of them was out of the way, the other one really would shine in a game like this. Such a shame. Bills at the Steelers. Also, not sure what to make of this one. Aaron Rodgers may or may not play. Not sure right now. Non-competitive, likely matchup. Bills can style on any team. This feels like a Cook situation where Cook can cook. That's my initial lean. Steelers rush defense, not that good. Finally, we got the Raiders at the Chargers. Chargers coming off a tough loss, and I'm saying they're going to be hangry. They're going to be hangry for some fantasy scoring. 25.25 point team total is weirdly one of the highest on the entire slate. They're at home against the Raiders. And finally, we don't actually know if Omarion Hampton will be back for this game. If he was back and fully healthy, I'd be really interested in that. If not, I mean, maybe Herbert gets one more kind of game without the dominant running back where he's got to throw for some touchdowns. So we'll keep Herbert on the top of our minds here as well. But as you can see, guys, look at the lack of green in the game tiles for Sunday. A lot of the sexy teams are getting eaten up on Thanksgiving and those extra slates. So we're going to have to be creative again to get this one figured out. Let's jump over to the player pool and start going player by player to try to see if we can get this one figured out. Let's start at the top here. And guys, as I'm doing this, I'd love for you to hit me in the comments. What's your initial read on your favorite quarterback wide receiver stack? Let's call it main stack for NFL Week 13 main slate on DraftKings here. Let's try to figure out where we can get a good matchup here. So, of course, Josh Allen priced all the way up top. He's the man coming off of the smash game, or actually 2 weeks removed for the smash game. And last week, actually, coming off a dud at Houston. That was the Thursday, Monday, whatever. That was an island game where trying to remember who took over that game. I guess it was Cook that just did enough to carry them. I can't even remember who the player was that got it done. Lost to Houston, though. So gross. But coming off actually a rough game in a bounce back spot against the Steelers team that, is not that great defensively this year. The downside for this play is mostly just that I don't know with Mason Rudolph at the helm, if he's at the helm for the Steelers, if that creates a situation where the Steelers can kind of make a high scoring game of it. And that's kind of what we need for Josh Allen to do the things that we need him to do to pay off this salary. So that's not my initial lean this week. You got Matt Stafford at Carolina. Same idea. Stafford's been great all year long, but I don't think the Rams are going to dominate this game defensively, which will stymie any ability for the Panthers to force the issue, which will probably lead to more of a standard kind of a game. One of these 26, 25ers, that is not going to do it at 7K. So I'm going to leave Stafford off my player pool this week. Probably not going to be on Allen. So it looks like we're going to be dancing with the cheapies in week 13. Justin Herbert at home against the Raiders. Yes. Okay. The only downside to this play is that I don't think the Raiders are going to be competitive here. The Chargers defense really good. Again, the Raiders their offensive line is terrible. It's epically bad. I think Geno got sacked 11 times against Cleveland. That's just been the case with these guys. So I don't like it. I like Chargers defense. Herbert, though, I'm going to call him playable at home against the Raiders. But again, in a non-competitive matchup, that's going to be the case with a lot of these. Danny Jones, I'm just not playing quarterbacks really against Houston. Could this work? I say, yes, it could. But this type of play has not been working nicely this year at all. So no one against Houston has scored well. They've actually allowed the fewest fantasy points per game to opposing quarterbacks. I don't like it. Similarly, I don't like this Brock Purdy spot on the road against the Browns. The Browns are a very high-quality defense, and they reduce fantasy scoring with their style of play. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Now, normally, this would have been a Baker Mayfield smash spot. This would have been my first and primary play of the week. Baker Mayfield. As of this moment, he's dealing with an, quote, AC joint sprain in his left non-throwing shoulder, according to Tom Pelissero. And per Rick Stroud, whether Mayfield will be able to play figures to come down to pain management. But either way, the QB's MRI results indicate that the shoulder injury should not be viewed as a long-term concern. If he does not play, then Teddy KGB will play for him. All right, this is a great, great spot for both teams if Mayfield plays. If Teddy Bridgewater plays, I don't feel nearly as good about it. If we get Bucky Irving back, this feels like the game to build around, guys. So I'm identifying this early in the week, it's Tuesday, as a spot to target. I'm going to target it on the other side just because I don't know what the deal is with Baker, right? I'm going to target this one on the other side for the purpose of this video. But know that if Baker's playing, I like that too. And if Baker plays, it absolutely opens up Igbuka, a little bit of Godwin's, a little taste, maybe a little bit of that, maybe a little Cade Otton, the whole deal. We already like the Arizona pieces. We've been on them for weeks, and nothing changes. We played Brissett as our top quarterback last week. Did he deliver a nuts Millie Maker winner last week? Not him personally, but he absolutely did more than what we needed to win all our cash games, all our multipliers, basically everything that wasn't a Millie Maker won everything because we had him stacked with Michael Wilson, we had him stacked with Dortch, and we had him stacked with McBride, and we're doing it again this week with the same group of pass catchers. Right back to it. I told you last week on this video, right back to the Brissett stacks. The week before, Brissett stacks, and this week we're doing the same, the brisket, smoked brisket. Let's go. All right, starting off with Brissett. Let's continue to talk through some of these. All right, so some other interesting spots. Darnold at home against the Vikings. Again, I don't see, it's hard to see a competitive matchup. I guess it's okay. Here, Darnold to JSN, but definitely does not stand out to me as anything special of a play. I do kind of like this T-Law situation here at Tennessee, just because Tennessee's terrible. I mean, yeah, Trevor Lawrence is not very good either, But the Titans actually picked up their game a little bit last week, played a little better. Could they put up some offense and cause the Jaguars to be forced to score? Maybe some silly for the Millie stuff here as well. I need to really see who benefited on Jacksonville this past week from Trevor Lawrence and that good game. Let's see, CJ Stroud at the Colts, whatever, right? And then Cousins at the Jets. I mean, I can't get down with that. So, we continue down the list here, and I don't know. Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater? Could it be? Could we go this crazy with Teddy Bridgewater? I mean, I'm leaning no, but maybe against the Jets, right? So a couple spots here, but my top pick right now is going to be Brissett. Real original. I don't care. Going right back to it, guys. We'll see again as the week presses on and some of this information, some of these injury information pieces come out. Maybe some of this will change. So that's the beauty of a nice early week look. We're going to get our heads on it. We're going to think about it. And then with the Thursday slate, Thanksgiving, the Friday one, then we're just going to come back to it on Friday on Tournament Tactics here and see what we got really figured out. All right. Let's jump over to the running back position group here. And again, tough matchups here. First of all, Jonathan Taylor gets the rough matchup with Houston defense. Does not mean that Jonathan Taylor can't have a good game. He certainly can. I mean, he showed you he's a mortal man last week against the Chiefs. I think it will be mortal again here. I'm not counting on a 40 burger against Texans defense, so he's going to be off my player pool. Similarly for CM Sizzles, again, he had a great game against Carolina. A great game. 24 carries, 7 targets, got the touchdown. He did all the things that you want, and still, he put up a really solid 28. The problem is 9, 18, 27, 36. We need at least a 36 or somewhere in that range to be hurt by not using him. That's really what it comes down to. Where's he going to burn us by? Listen, I'm okay if I use him and he gets to 28, 29. Fine, right? I'll make up for it elsewhere on the 4X. But this is Cleveland. I could see a dud happening here. So that's definitely not a situation I want to target. Bijan against the Jets? Yes, right? I think that is fine. Bijan's been acceptable, I guess, kind of, with Kirk Cousins at the helm. So Jets defense, not very good. I could see Bijan getting it done against them here. But my first top play, or my first favorite play, let's call it, Devon Achane at home against the Saints. Achane at home is a favorite. Come on, right? What more do we need to know? When has that not worked? Here, home is a favorite, 25. Home is a favorite, 43. Home is a favorite, even in the tough match. Well, that was fine. 17. So it didn't work well against, but he was a massive underdog in that one, actually. Even as an underdog, what am I saying? Favorite. He was an underdog in most of these. 20 points. Yeah, Cleveland game, tough. But again, home underdog, 34 points. So Achane's been getting it done at home. He is the man. And we're going to plug him in here. He gets a lot of receptions, 5, 6, 10, 7. So he gets a lot of catches. He's an explosive player. Just think no more. Worry no more, right? If I didn't go with Achane, though, I like James Cook here as well in this game against the Steelers. This just feels like one of those games where Cook will pop, right? Steelers, kind of a dead offense right now. I think James Cook can get it done. If I didn't play Achane, it would be him. I'm not sure that we'll find anybody like at a bargain basement level. So I'm just going to kind of go through these and figure out who that second spot might be. Bucky Irving in his first game back, maybe, probably, from injury. What's he going to do? Should we just sit back and watch? It's a very good matchup. Bucks have not been great against the run this year at all. They've been allowing a lot of points. So Bucky Irving, we'll keep him in our thoughts and prayers, but for his recovery. But, if he starts, I don't know that they're going to give him a massive workload first week back. So I'm going to proceed with caution there. Dowdle, brutal matchup against the Rams. No, right? Kyron Williams, good matchup against Carolina. The only downside is Kyron Williams just, I don't know, he's not getting it done lately. And, there's that. He's just not getting it done. I see Blake Corum in the game way too much lately. I don't like this. 7 carries for Corum last week. And how many did Kyron get? Yeah, Kyron got 12 and the other guy got 7. I don't like these ratios. And this was in a absolute smash win, 34-7. Kyron's still not doing it. The biggest problem with Kyron right now is the targets. Kyren smashes when this target number spikes, but between Puka and Devontae, they're so demanding of the football. It just doesn't go to Kyren enough, and this has muted his ability to put up big numbers. With all that being said, it is encouraging to see Kyren Williams' salary finally coming down a little bit. Like, I don't know why DraftKings doesn't show the fucking salaries anymore. That was really helpful, that we could see what last week's salary was. I'm going to memorize it now, but he's been up over 7K and he's starting to come down a little bit into reality. Kyren. Travis Etienne gets a salary. So here we go. So this is happening. Right? They're now moving salaries around based on matchup. Travis Etienne, 15 carries, 4 targets last week against Arizona. Put up another nice score, right? Had a good day. Let's see what Bajal Tootin did before we get too crazy and too excited. 7 carries, only 1 target. So I will say this. The pendulum definitely swung back in the favor of Travis Etienne last week, and now they're in the smash matchup of a lifetime, right? Against the Titans. They can't stop the run. What do? I don't know. I don't normally play Travis Etienne at 6,500. I don't really want to break that rule, so to speak. So I'm going to proceed with caution right now, but he's not making this lineup. Ashton Janty coming off a pretty nice game against Cleveland. Unexpected. 8 targets, 8 receptions. And now he gets the massive price reduction. Suffered an ankle injury, not believed to be severe. I like this price point. I mean, this game doesn't stand out for running backs per se, but he catches a lot of passes, and I do like that price point. So I'm going to keep Ashton Janty in mind here, top of mind. But that's not where I think we need to go. I just want to mention, I like the price, even as an underdog running back. Normally we play favored running backs. This is an underdog running back. It's got some negatives, but I like the price point for Janty. I like that they reduced it. Judkins at home. Another interesting spot, right? I skipped over Warren. Actually got a lot of carries here. No targets last week. Got a bunch of carries. But, I mean, this has been the story of Jaylen Warren's whole season. There's no ceiling there. He's just splitting directly with Gainwell. Guys, let's not get sucked into this. Let's not get sucked into Jaylen Warren. I hadn't played him all year. He was chalk 2 weeks ago. I didn't even play him then. And actually, we avoided some ugly chalk a couple of weeks ago. Let's not get sucked in. Let's just not, okay? Judkins, kind of interesting as an underdog at home. Judkins got all the touchdowns last week, 2 of them, but it took all of that for him to produce a quality score. Now they're at home against the 49ers. Yeah, I think it could pop for Judkins here. Yeah, it could be a good one. But, I'm not going to go crazy for it, but I think it could be good. But he does break a rule. So the place I think I'm going to go here at running back is Breece Hall. And again, I told you guys earlier, I kind of think the Jets are going to win this game. I think it's a weird line. I think Jets should be favored, but everybody hates the Jets and they suck. So that's why they're not. But in reality, the Falcons have just not been that great with Kirk Cousins in there. And so unless that's not changing, or unless Kirk Cousins has picked up his competence a little bit, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 199 yards, fumbled 1. I mean, I don't see anything here that says, we've seen a whole lot of change or improvement here for Cousins. I think he's still kind of looking goofy out there. So I like Breece Hall in this spot. I haven't played much Breece Hall this year, so we'll see how that works out. But as of right now, that one pops a little bit for me. Continuing on, Omarion Hampton on the other side of on this Chargers game on the other side of Ashton Janty. If he comes back and we get any kind of word that this kid is back to full strength, and they had the bye week and extra week of rest, like if we can get Omarion at full strength, I'm interested. We'll find out. If not, I guess maybe if Omarion's out, then maybe we go right back to Kamani Vidal. All right, back to it. Aaron Jones, no. Tucker, no. Kamara, no. I am curious about Kamara's injury, getting an MRI. We don't have any updates on him. I think he's going to be out. And I think it's going to be Devin Neal. So we'll have some interest in Devin Neal. Trey Benson, will he be back here? If he's back, I'll have some interest in him as well. Devin Neal in place of Kamara? I think yes. Caught the 7. This is the key number for me. 7 targets, 5 receptions. Now, why is that a key number? At 5K, if I know the running back can catch a pass and that they're willing to throw to him, That's all I really need to know. That creates a high floor. Will he do anything with it? I don't know. It's Miami. So, yeah, it's a great matchup for running back. So, yeah, I think I'll be all over this play. Devin Neal, I wish they were favored. It's not perfection, but it's good enough. Continue look down the chart here for any other running backs that I might want to just take a look at. Zani Knight, another pretty good game, man. This guy's been fairly useful for you on your season-long team if you picked him up and just started playing him when Benson went down. All right, let's move on to the wide receiver position for NFL Week 13 on DraftKings. Start at the top. JSN, let's see what he did last week. He had a big week. And the crazy thing about the JSN play last night was it was obviously on Sunday was he was supposed to be, this was supposed to be a blowout, but it wasn't. Somehow the Titans made a game of it, and all of a sudden it made everything go crazy. And that's a reminder that a home team in particular, the Titans were at home, a home team in particular can make a game surprisingly competitive. We've seen road favored teams this year. That's a big burn stat from the year at the Shark Lab. Road favorites have been a disappointment, which means home underdogs are overperforming, right? If road favorites are disappointing, home dogs are overperforming. So let's keep that in mind. That being said, this week at home against the Vikings, yeah, JSN's great, but again, non-competitive situation. Puka, it's been a while since we've had a Puka-style game from Puka. Unfortunately, guys, I think it's time to acknowledge that Davante Adams has severely detracted from Puka's upside. They look for Davante in the end zone. They don't look for Puka there. And so it's just caused him not to get as many touchdowns as he normally might if that weren't occurring. Most of his touchdowns came, earlier in the year. He hasn't had a multiple touchdown day. And the target numbers have not been as great as, they were, let's call it, last season or during a stretch this year worth the 15s, the 15 target games and all of that. So I can't really justify in this non-competitive matchup paying all the way up for Puka. And notice the gap down in salaries here. So JSN and Puka, 9,500, 9K. And then the next best guy is 7,500. I mean, that's a massive gap difference down to, that's a big glaring hole of no wide receivers. Now let's take a look at what the story is with Drake London. Ruled out for Sunday, didn't practice, PCL sprain, at least one game. So really the question is, will Drake London be back? If he is, then I have some mild interest in Drake London. Wait, I forgot one. You know what? I got to go back to quarterback. I just thought of something. I forgot to mention one quarterback, Tyrod Taylor, guys. This Atlanta game, I forgot about it. Forgot about Ty. We're going to Tyrod this week. We're going to play some of that. Oh, yes. All right. Had to mention it. Had to put it in here on the video because I didn't scroll down that low. 4,300 for Tyrod Taylor, and there are pieces on the Jets that I'm excited to stack him with. So we'll get to those stacks, but then I just wanted to remind myself as well as I watch this later, and I'm like, hey, oh yeah, don't forget about Tyrod. Tyrod Taylor, interesting play this week on a week where no one's like popping that crazy. Might as well take the cheap guy. He's got just as much upside as anybody. So, all right, with that being said, continuing on, wide receiver position. Yeah, Drake London, don't know if he's going to play. Justin Jefferson's a definite no, right? Then we get to Jalen Waddle. I kind of like the Waddle play here, 6,800. He's been, sort of the primary focal point wide receiver for his team. Has he done anything to justify a 7K price point, 728? No, he hasn't gotten there yet, just barely in 1 week. So, proceed with caution, but I do like Jalen Waddle here a little bit. Nico Collins, sure, against the Colts at 6,700. I think that's fine. Colts have some talent. No, actually, no, I don't like this spot. No, Sauce Gardner on the Colts is going to be pasted onto Nico Collins. Not a good spot. Mecca Ibuka down here. This really comes down to Winston versus, Bridgewater versus Baker Mayfield, right? If Mayfield plays, sure, great. It's a good spot, good setup, everything great. But if it's Teddy Bridgewater, it's a lot scarier of a play. I'm not saying it's not playable. I just, I don't have a lot of faith in Teddy Bridgewater right now, so I'll like it less. I'll stick with this side of the game. Olave against Miami, fine. McConkey, just a stackable piece with Herbert in those lineups. I wouldn't really go beyond that. Ted McMillan against the Rams, no. Right? Brian Thomas Jr., probably not. Right? Marvin Harrison, I don't expect him to play, but if he does, I'm very interested. But if not, I think we go right back to Michael Wilson. How are you still chasing this? I don't know. I mean, 18 targets the first week we cored him. We cored him again last week. He had another 15 targets, put up monster scores. I'm not saying at this price point that he's going to be a core play for me this week. He's now priced appropriately for his production. But, hey, I'll stack that shit up with Jacoby Brissett all day. Sure, why not, right? Pittman, 8 targets last week, 13.7 in a tough matchup against KC. Now he gets another tough matchup against Houston and Derek Stingley. No, right? We're not touching that. So avoid Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers, I don't really get. I just don't really get it. Titans, easy matchup, but he's getting chalky. He has not done anything to justify the salary all year, regardless of the team. I don't like this spike in price point at all. I don't like what DraftKings is doing right now, changing the salaries of these players based on the matchup. What are you guys doing? I don't like it. DK Metcalf got banged up this past week. Limited participant. Either way, he's not somebody we're using. I don't play DK Metcalf. Khalil Shakir, Another one, maybe with Josh Allen, maybe, but not alone. Parker Washington can be used here this week, though, against the Titans. If I want to play someone, I think Parker Washington is fine. Again, Darnell Mooney, as long as Drake London remains out, Darnell Mooney has a little bit of appeal. Note we're getting we're going through it, going through the list here. Pearsall's fine, but not against Cleveland. Addison, I don't like the matchup. Keenan Allen, very, very all over the place in his production as of late, so not a safe pick. Godwin, definitely not a safe pick. Got 4 targets, 2 receptions last week. They're saying they're going to ramp up Chris Godwin's usage as weeks go on, and I believe that. I can't imagine they're going to keep him out there too much. This guy's been too banged up for too long. He's going to have to slowly make his way back into relevance. And if I'm the Bucs, I'm kind of thinking, yeah, we just want to bring him along and hopefully get him to the point where, as we hit the playoffs, that he's back to full strength. So if I'm the Bucs, I'm not taking too many chances there at all. Johnston, again, another interesting piece that's stackable with Herbert, but nothing that you feel any kind of safety with. 3 targets, 0 receptions, 10. I mean, the zeros are all over the place with this guy. He is the classic GPP only DFS play. Very GPP only. Do not fucks with that in any kind of cash games or anything like that. Trey Tucker against the Chargers, 10 targets, 3 catches. I mean, he has the WR1 right now, I think, for his team. I don't mind it. I could put Trey Tucker in there as an underdog play. Chargers defense is not that scary. Or maybe they are, but probably not. Alec Pierce, playable. Again, he will probably avoid the sauce, which means that we should probably see a little more interest in throwing to him, although it didn't work out this past week. Juwan Jennings, again, Cleveland, not a big fan of using players against Cleveland. Greg Dortch is somebody to pay attention to. 6 and 9 over the past 2 weeks. Yeah, Dortch, he's fine. Oh, Brissett double stacks. Are we going to triple stack it? It's getting crazy. Rashid Shaheed, no, done nothing. DK, Kamari DK, starting to percolate. DK has been rising over the last couple games here. 7 targets, 5 receptions, 21.4 points. I mean, it's Jacksonville. DK's at home. If I'm building, I could see building lineups around this game with T-Law, maybe Brenton Strange or something like that. Maybe one of those pass catchers for T-Law. Maybe a bring back with DK. I could see it, but probably not something I would do as a core or as part of a main build this week in early looks. Malik Washington, whatever, just another guy. I like the price point. Tez Johnson. This one is kind of interesting because Tez Johnson, people forgot about him, but he continues to stay involved with Godwin only kind of mixing in a little bit. So I think Tez Johnson, especially just in a build around this game environment, I don't mind that either. Although, again, I much prefer it with Baker compared to Bridgewater, but Bridgewater's not completely garbage. He can get it done too. It's fine. He's fine. Not completely garbage. Jerry Jeudy disappointed last week in the Shador game. Shador himself, even though they won, was not all that, spectacular from a fantasy productive standpoint, but he didn't need to be. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when he needs to be. There are some sub 4K names that I want to mention. First, Jaden Higgins, 9 targets, 4 receptions. It's a tough matchup, sort of, but it seems like Jaden Higgins will actually be in a really good spot here. He's going to avoid the toughest cornerback coverage for his team, and I think he's somebody that we can actually plug into some lineups this week for salary relief at 3,900. But wait, I'm not done with the salary relief. There's more, but he's one of them. I like it. Jaden Higgins, again, 9 targets, 7. Look at the target numbers. 9, 7, 7, right? Everybody's talking about Christian Kirk. What's he getting? He's not getting 7 to 9 targets, is he? No, he's getting 4, 3, 6. He did all right last week, so I guess he'd be in that mix as well. You know what? I'm going to actually include it. Kirk or Higgins, I think, from this team are a reasonably and perfectly acceptable pay down option this week. And then check this out. There's more. Now, unfortunately, these guys are connected to a team you're all going to make a face about, but Jets wide receiver John Mechie, 7 targets, 6 receptions this past week. Why not? Right? Compare it to Mitchell, 7 targets, 2 receptions. Adonai still has that issue of cannot catch the pass when it falls next to him. And then finally, I can't remember Hodgins, who the last Jets wide receiver is, but I think one of these Jets wide receivers are perfectly playable. Isaiah Williams, this guy. So Tyler Johnson, no targets. Isaiah Williams, no targets. No targets for Arian Smith. So basically, it looks like Mechie and Adonai Mitchell were the only 2 being used, and Mechie was sort of the best of them, which makes me want to play at 3,800 some Mechie. I know it seems crazy, but I kind of like this approach, right? And we could also build lineups. If it's not this one, we could also build a Tyrod Taylor version of this lineup, and I don't even mind having Breece Hall in there. So what a weird week where I have players from the Jets. This can't go right. It can only go bad. I don't think I've ever played players from the Jets and had it work out, but here we are. This is my life. This is week 13. This is what we got to do. Taylor is okay as well. Let's see what he did last week. Yeah, nothing much. All right. That does it pretty much for the wide receiver group NFL week 13. And again, we have some real bargain basement ones that we can attack, and I think that's an exciting thing. Oh, David Sills, 2 of 3 last week for the Falcons as well. I'm just trying to see if anybody else. Christian Kirk, I think, again, in our conversation this week. So definite salary saving options for us here on DraftKings sub 4K at the wide receiver position this week. Let's keep those in mind. Let's jump over to defense before we finish this out at the tight end group. Hint, Trey McBride, right? We keep playing Trey, but let's talk about some defenses that might be viable here. Titans, Panthers, no. Titans, probably not. Vikings, no. Jets, yes, maybe, right? Jets are a yes. Raiders, no. Steelers, no. Cardinals, maybe, but probably not. Saints, no. Texans, no. Browns, maybe. So it looks like they priced a lot of these fairly appropriately. Colts up here, 3,100 is a maybe. Bucks, no. Miami against the rookie, definitely very, very playable here. So Dolphins at 3,300 in play. Bills against, Mason Rudolph or whatever in play. Falcons against the Jets, I'm going to say no to that one. 49ers at Cleveland, though, yes. Right? Even though 49ers are on the road, Sanders, Cleveland rookie quarterback, not very good, so I don't mind it. Jaguars against Titans, sure, why not? Titans are terrible. Rams against the Panthers, definitely like that play. Seattle at home, definitely. Chargers at home, definitely. So if we want to pay up, we've got Rams, Seahawks, Chargers, maybe Jaguars, right? All the pay up options look pretty good. 49ers, okay. And then down here at the cheap zone, I think our best bet is Jets. I mean, this is just crazy, but I think that's our best bet. Jets defense paired up with Breece Hall. Don't cancel your account. I mean, I don't know. Jump over to the tight end group. Of course, Trey McBride is the top dog this and every week, although it's not like the greatest matchup in the world. At least the Bucs are actually pretty good at defending tight ends, but it's Trey McBride. Brock Bowers, I would say, yeah, why not? Why not? Kittle, sure, why not? One of the first standout plays, though, for me at tight end this week is Gadsden. I really like going down to Gadsden Again, not against a pretty good Raiders tight end defense. They're fine. But the reason I like it is just because, who do you really play from these pass catchers? You know that the Chargers are probably going to have a good day throwing the football against the Raiders, but who are they throwing to? So I say I like the price reduction in Gaston. I don't mind it. $4,300. Look at all that salary we'd have left over to improve this lineup. Juwan Johnson continues to really get peppered with targets. I'm fine with him as well. I don't love the price point, but I'm fine with that. Cade Otton, also getting a lot of targets. Not doing a whole lot with them, but getting a lot of targets, gets an elite tight end matchup against the Cardinals. They're like a tight end funnel team. So I don't mind that, even with the rookie quarterback, or not the rookie, but the veteran, not that good quarterback, Teddy KGB there. I'm fine with this. So from building around that game, I might go with Otton and kind of do this whole thing. Kyle Pitts, no. Why not? Dude, I never play Pitts. Pitts was chalk last week. I told you, no Pitts. This guy sucks. He never gets it done. Of course, he'll get it done now. He never gets it done. They have to force feed him like crazy for him to even have a shot. I don't think he's that good. Brenton Strange had a big week last week. 5 for 5, 14 fantasy points. I don't mind that. 3,700, fine by me. Schultz against the Colts. Tight end is a good way to attack the Colts, although did that work for Kelsey? I don't remember. Last week, 2 weeks. I can't remember what yesterday was. Probably not. But tight end is definitely a good way to attack the Colts. Dalton Schultz, acceptable there, I guess. Hawkinson, no. Okonkwo, no. Okonk, no. Fannin Jr., sure, why not? This guy gets a few targets every week. I don't mind the Fannin Jr. play. That's actually a pretty good spot. It's Cleveland against San Francisco might have some sneaky upside appeal. Njoku, no. All right, so in the easiest of ads, you just put McBride in there, call it a day, crush the lineup, all good. But again, I think there's some viability with some of these other tight ends if we need to pay down. Even Kincaid a little bit, but all of these kind of from Cade Otton, Johnson, Gadsden, Strange, Fannin. I guess we'll take the rest of the week to see if we can find any others. But for now, I'm going to plug in McBride, Wilson in there with Brissett. I've got Achane and Breece Hall at the running back position. Brissett is stacked with Wilson and McBride, as I said before. And then a couple of pay down options that I think could pay off this week. Higgins or Kirk. Higgins or Kirk from the Texans. I like John Mechie on the Jets if we're going to pay down. I don't even mind, like I said, going to a Tyrod Taylor. What a weird week. What a weird main slate, guys. That's what happens when all of the game tiles are in red, man. Nothing's going to look that great right off the bat. Nothing. Maybe the Bills on the road at the Steelers. Maybe we play some Bills offense, load up with Josh Allen. They do have the highest team total, but that's how it goes on one of these slates. It should be fun. We could be creative on this slate and get stupid, and it's not even that stupid because everything else is kind of stupid too. Guys, remember, we are in the midst of the big DFS Army Black Friday promotion. It is this week, only 25% off our VIP or NFL packages. The best one to do is actually all around annual for $5.99. That is a crazy price, massive discount, because it's already discounted massively when you do the year to $7.99. That would be equivalent to $70 a month, which we are at $100 a month. So it's already discounted by 30%. Then you tack on another 25%, knock out the full year. You got your DFS covered. Same price as like 1 month of the Sim Bros bullshit site, where you don't see anybody on those sites posting $18 in your account, winning all of these tournaments in a row using the domination station. One of the things that I like to emphasize here, guys, our tools are superior. Our projection system is better. We continue to work on it nonstop. I know you hear about other things. This is the spot where average Joes come to compete on a level playing field with DFS pros. Promo code BF2025 for new DFS Army subscribers. Get in here, become part of our team, get in our Discord, get the cheat sheets, get the notes, get all that good stuff. Reminder, this is a big week. We'll be back on this week. We've got coverage for the Thanksgiving slate. We've got coverage for the Friday only slate. We've got coverage for the main slate. We've got coverage for everything here on the DFS Army YouTube channel. So make sure, like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so we let you know when these videos go live. Good luck this week, everybody. Helmets up.